Hey guys, Martin here. It is Monday. It is the day I'm actually releasing this, and I feel super bad about having delayed this video until today, but I've just been, I don't know, I've just been sort of, I've been rough around the edges, and I've not felt focused enough to really sit down and talk about anything this past week. You know, even in therapy, it was kind of a convoluted mess. It was kind of like I didn't really feel like I got much out of it. So I didn't really want to sit down and talk until I had something specific to talk about. And I only have one thing to talk about this week, and that's a good thing, and it's something that is positive and helped me this past week. And it's been a really bad 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be honest. It's been very trying. It's been very emotionally exhausting. But one thing I did this past week or so, which really helped, was, and this isn't something that will necessarily apply to any of you, but I think the idea applies, and that's that I sat down and wrote from scratch an original Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged short, which I uploaded the previous week, which is My versus My, which is all about young Mai. It's all about season 1 through 3 abridged Mai going up against season 4 Mai, although not in a literal sense. It's about Joey and Yugi comparing the two. There's a lot of, you kind of have to watch the video to understand what's going on in it, but what I want to talk about regarding it is the fact that it was very rewarding for me. Very rewarding for me. It's been a long time since I just wrote a video featuring characters from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged that wasn't just a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged video. And it's not the best video I've ever made. In fact, I'm sure a lot of you would argue that it's worse than a lot of the videos that I've made in the past, because I've obviously lost a lot of my editing knack, so to speak. My knack for editing isn't as strong as it used to be. And honestly, the jokes aren't the funniest I've ever written, but I think it's enjoyable. I think it's fun. It was fun to write, and it was fun to voice, and it was fun to edit. And I've not edited one of my own Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged videos in a long time, and that's kind of frustrating if you're the kind of person who's just been used to doing it themselves and getting it when you are in charge of every aspect of the creative process, then it's very rewarding to see it all come to fruition and see everything look essentially exactly like you want it to, even if it's not the best, even if it's not the best possible version of the video. There's just something about seeing it look the way you definitely wanted it to look, the way you know that was what you thought of when you put it into words. And even though somebody else might have had a different approach to it, and somebody else might have had a more creative approach to it, it's not your approach to it, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. But the reason I wanted to talk about that is that was immensely rewarding for me. It felt good to get that out of my system. It felt really good to just be sat down with one of those videos that used to be like a daily thing for me. It used to be something where I'd be like, okay, today I'm moving on to this Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged video, and then tomorrow I'll do the voice work for that one. And even though it's not, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode, it was still something in that arena, and it was still very familiar to me. It was like coming home after a long trip away, and that felt really good. It's not like doing that video, made me like happier than I've ever been, but it helped me return to a place of comfort that is so lacking sometimes these days. It helped me return to a place that was familiar, and I was comfortable with it, and that elevated me, and that made me feel like, I was in a place, no matter what was going on in my life, no matter how I was feeling the day before, or how I was feeling, the hour before I'd been working on it, when I was working on it, and when I got to watch it back in full when it was done, it was a wave of relief, and positivity, and that's something that I needed so badly. And I know a lot of you probably need that really badly. That's why some of you probably watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged videos, is because you need something to cheer you up. And I hear that feedback from a lot of people. So, independently of any of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged stuff or any of that stuff that I've ever done, I want to say that if you are in a state, if you're a bit frustrated, if you're going through depression and you feel like, aimless, and you feel like you're treading water or you're drowning, as I do sometimes, just in casual conversation, I start feeling like, I'm losing oxygen and I've got to struggle for shore. But if you're ever feeling like that, if you're ever in a place like that, if you're ever going through a long period where, you could do with, you're in a desert and you could do with a rain shower, if you've ever felt like that, then do something personally rewarding. I know that's probably very vague, and some of you might be like, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find the thing that's rewarding. Even if it's something small, even if it's something like reading a page of a book, something really small that you'll get something out of, do that. Just take a moment to do that. Take an hour out of your day to do that, to do something that is just for you, that is just something that is guaranteed to make you feel better. Do that, because I don't know about you, but that sounds like really obvious advice when it comes out of my mouth right now. But it's something I didn't think of. It's something I didn't think to do, and it's something that if somebody else had told me to do it, it probably would have helped, and it probably would have been a lot easier than it was to accomplish. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share this week, and I know this was a short one. I apologize for that, but I just wanted to say I did something that I haven't done in a long time that I know makes me happy, and it just makes me happy, and it will always make me happy, and it's always going to be there for me when I need it. And I just might not be able to return to it for a while, but that's okay. It'll still be there. It's not something anybody can take away from me, because it's a feeling that I have. It's a good feeling, and it's something I can come back to again and again. So yeah, try and find that wherever it is, wherever it may be, whatever it may be. Try and do something that really just enlightens your mood, and lifts you up, and takes you away from all the crap for just a short part of the day, because it's worth it. It's worth finding those little times in the day where you can feel really bloody good, no matter what anyone tells you, or no matter what depression makes you feel. You can find a way. You can find the cloud through the light, I was going to say. I'm not going to try and be poetry at this time in the morning. Okay, try and be poetry. It's very rewarding. But anyway, I thought I'd just talk to you guys just real quick about that. And I hope that you're doing okay. I really do. I'm doing okay today. Let's see how things go from here on. I'll catch up with you next week. Thanks.